Hi families, Mrs. Jarmon here. I teach sixth grade science, and this is going to be my open house / curriculum night presentation. The good news is Ms. Troyer and I, who teach the other half of sixth graders science, have the same slideshow. So if your students have friends who have Troyer, we do the exact same thing. So a little bit about me. I'm originally from Chicago, hence the Cubs. I love them dearly. When we won the World Series in 2016, it was amazing. It was great. So I started off in Chicago. I joined the Air Force after graduating college. I was a C-130 instructor navigator. So there's my airplane right there. Loved it. Did 3 deployments, 3 tours, 2 to Iraq, and 1 split to Afghanistan and Kuwait. And after that, and really getting good at teaching people how to fly, going 240, 300 feet above the ground, I was like, I could teach kids. So that's how I ended up here at Washington Middle School. It's my 4th year teaching sixth grade science. I am married. There's a picture of my husband, Michael, who's also a teacher. This is our 3-year-old daughter, Maya. She's a lovely handful. And our little dog, Chili. So just a little bit about me. So in science, we use the FOSS system, the Full Option Science System. This is the FOSS website. And this year in science, your students are going to cover 2 main topics: diversity of life, Earth history, and then they'll have an end of the year engineering project. So diversity of life covers these main topics: cells, animals, plants, fungi, bacteria, all basically think an introduction to biology, which is great for them, and a lot of things that we didn't get in middle school. Our second unit, starting right around February, right around that second semester, will be Earth history, which is our geology unit. So rock layers, geological time, all the 3 different types of rocks, the rock cycle. They love volcanoes, earthquakes, and tectonic plates. We have a Pacific Northwest focus since we have all of those things here with us. So hopefully they're going to be teaching you a little bit about our local area. How we do science now, distance learning wise, is each week we have 1 digital science notebook that starts on Monday or Tuesday, whenever your student first sees us, and is due on Sunday. The picture on the right-hand side is of our latest science notebook that we finished today, and that's due Sunday. We did our first science lab. Hopefully you heard a little bit about it. It's a 5 mystery substances. They enjoyed it and loved it. We model note-taking, sense-making, and analysis of data. So in 6th grade, we really focus on teaching them those skills by modeling them. So I type in the document and I type in all of the class suggestions. So predictions, what do you think this is? What do you think it smells like? Why do you think that? And I type all of that in. I ask your student to pick 1 or 2 of those and type 1 or 2 of those in. So they're not hopefully overwhelmed with the amount of notes they're taking, but they do practice that skill, and that we will continue to build on here in our science department at Washington. There are also absent videos for those students who miss class or get behind on notes. Sometimes students really would prefer focusing in on the lab and focusing in on us and take the notes at another time. Or some kids are just not real fast typers. So if you notice your student falling behind, don't worry. There are absent videos, and I'll show you one a little bit later in the presentation. So we're not doing tests or quizzes this year. If me or Ms. Troyer had one of your older students, we traditionally have done those. But this year, especially with distance learning, we decided to switch to projects. So at the end of each investigation, students will complete a week-long project that works out to be about once a month, and that's how they're going to demonstrate their learning. For grading, 20% of their grade is those weekly notebooks, and you can see that basically if they have a 0, it's either because they didn't turn it in or the notes were incomplete. But if they complete it, they get an A. I'm really focused on just the knowledge and completing the notebooks. I don't want them to focus on right or wrong. I feel like sometimes when at 11 they focus too much on if I'm right, they don't take the risk. So we really encourage completing it and working through it, and we will review the notebooks and talk about them. For projects, you can see, I'll move me over here. We have linked standards-based and levels of mastery with points. So if there's no evidence, if they haven't submitted a project, 0 points for that. But a 2 or a C is an introductory level. That's something that I would expect them to do the very beginning. 3 is a B, an approaching standard. So they're right there, they're close, but they're maybe just missing 1 or 2 little pieces. And meeting standard is a 4. That's an A. So if they are meeting our science standards, they get an A. You can see the percentages off to the right. So our goal is to get all of our students to meeting science standards. You also notice there are no pluses or minuses. It makes it easier for everybody. Your students can also redo anything at any point. They can also submit anything at any point. I do have the semester cutoffs, but I encourage kids to turn in late work. They get full credit for it. If they do a project and they get a 2 or a C on it, and that's something that they want to fix, they can always redo it and resubmit it and get full points. Because we're really just encouraging students to work towards meeting that standard. And if that takes them a little bit longer, that's okay. So my Schoology page, I'm going to show you what your students see. So when your student logs in, and for, I think it's the same on the parent side, you have my banner here. These are good ways to contact me. So this is how your student should be joining our Zooms. But my email, Remind, it's just like a anonymous texting service. I also have a link to our science curriculum here, FOSS Web. Your students have their logins in their notebooks. So if you wanted to take a look as well, you can. Right now, we're in diversity of life. So I'll click there. And you can see we're going to be in our first investigation until through about October 16th. And I'll update that date if it changes. But for right now, we're right on track for that. So all of your students' assignments up until October 16th are found in this folder. And then you can see each individual assignment and notebook. And I've put dates both for you and for them. So if your student is absent or you do see on Skyward a missing assignment and you're wondering which notebook that is and which one to have them go back and either redo or complete, you can look at the dates as well. But you can see I have absent videos here. If your student clicks on it for some reason, every once in a while, Schoology and YouTube do not play well together. That's okay. They can go up and click on the box with the arrow here. And it brings up this YouTube video of me. And so to give you an idea, you can see I've typed in all the notes and I'm showing the students the notes that they would have missed if they were either absent or if they got a little behind. And so this is a great resource for your students if they are missing notes or they do just need to hear it again. They can always view this video. I encourage students to pause it like I have, check their notebook versus mine on the video. And that's a great way and a great resource for them, for those students that are either absent or just need a little extra time. And that's pretty much how Schoology for me is going to be set up this whole year. So your student's going to submit work. When they click on the assignment, it will bring up a page that looks like this. They're pretty good about it with going to My Document and editing it, and then this is the Submit Assignment button. So if they ever say, I think I submitted it, I don't know why, this is an easy check. Have them go to their Schoology page, and a lot of times they have done the work, they have just forgot that very last step of hitting the Submit Assignment button. So the differences, we know, especially transitioning from elementary school to middle school, you may not be as familiar with Skyward as you are for Schoology or even Google Classroom. So these are the main differences. For Schoology, you can access both systems with your own login. There's a class calendar, so you can see when assignments are going to be due. They can as well. This is where we do all of our assignments. We'll put all of our resources on there. They show grades, but only Schoology grades. And the big difference there is a lot of times there are things that we will ask them to do, like a little quick quiz. It doesn't impact their grade, but it does help remind them to do it. So you can see grades for all the assignments on Schoology, but that's not necessarily their official overall grade. So we always encourage you to check Skyward. It has their official grade not only for each assignment, but also overall grades for each class. It has their missing assignments, schedules, attendance. All teachers use Skyward. So we recommend if there's a question about an individual assignment, Schoology is a great place to check. But if you're looking for an overall big picture of how your student is doing academically, that would be more of a Skyward thing. So for science, Zoom schedules, what should you expect? On Mondays and Tuesdays, which is kind of the salmon color, that's where I'm focusing on introducing the science lesson and start working on the science notebook in the Zoom altogether. At that point, I'm not asking them to submit anything. So if your student is absent Monday or Tuesday, they can watch that video that's posted on Wednesday and be ready to go for later in the week. Thursday and Friday, we'll continue working in the notebook. It's also when I will have them do activities just to help cement that learning. I also try to give them 15 to 20 minutes at the end of the Zoom to finish the notebook and get help. So I always give them 3 options. Option 1 is I feel really comfortable with the notebook. I can complete it on my own. I don't need help. And at that point, they are allowed to log off. Option 2 is I can put them in a break room with other kids, and then they work together on the document. It's been really successful. They enjoy it. They miss each other. So it's a really great way for them to kind of get together and meet each other. But I've been seeing some really great things of students having great conversations, sharing their screen when other students say, I don't know how to get there, or where did you find that? So they've been doing a really great job of working together in breakout rooms. Option number 3 is to stay with me in the main room. That's if maybe you have some questions that you don't feel comfortable asking in front of a large group, you need some help, or sometimes it's just students want to take another look at my notebook and make sure theirs is okay and the way it should be. And so they can stay in the main room with me. And every couple of minutes, I bounce back to the breakout rooms to make sure things are going well in there. But that gives you an idea of, for Zoom and for science, how we're doing that. So how can you help your student? Check Skyward once a week just to see grades and missing assignments. Check Schoology for those absent videos that can help your student complete a science notebook. Just making sure they submit them by Sunday is a great thing just to ask. If it's Sunday and things are winding down as you're preparing for a Monday, just a quick, hey, did you made sure you submitted science? Because they'll forget. And finally, please keep me in the loop if there are any concerns or questions. We know it's a really kind of tough time for some students. So if your student would benefit from any modification or change, or you just have a question, please feel free to reach out to me at any point in time, and we can work together. Because the big thing is we want them to be happy and successful. And to really, our goal is they should leave 6th grade science, loving science, feeling good about themselves, and seeing their place in the world. And so anything I can do to help cement that, please let me know. So email, you can send me a Schoology message. You can contact me on Remind. All of those are great avenues to contact me if you ever have any questions or concerns. Finally, thank you for sharing your wonderful and hilarious little people with us. They are great. I've enjoyed meeting pets. I've really enjoyed seeing older siblings that I've had. So even from a distance, they're doing great. We love having them. So thanks again for allowing us to come now into your homes and teach these wonderful people. Thanks again, and let me know if you have any questions.